All right, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and of course, upvote the video itself. We'd appreciate it very much. Hey, Ole Miss kind of took care of business. There's some good first impressions that were made over the weekend at Swayze Field with the opening of the baseball team. Hey, and if you look down below, you can see that this weekend it gets real because after this weekend, the weekend series is basically all Big Ten. You have Maryland for a 3-game set in Oxford next weekend. Then you go to Minnesota for a little tournament kind of situation to where you play Maryland again. You have Minnesota. You have Nebraska. And then you have a 3-game set with the Purdue Boilermakers. So it's all Big Ten after this. It's like all Big Ten play going into the opening SEC series against the Vanderbilt Commodores. So we have to get ready quickly because this, I have a feeling, is going to be a Vanderbilt team that is fairly special, and the SEC schedule is always a gauntlet. So if you look at the original Will Furness, first at bat, home run. Awesome like. Me and Derek Vandegrift have talked about this over and over and over again in his baseball segments over the course, honestly, the last 5 months. He's been all over this podcast. First at bat, home run. Congratulations to Will Furness. Love that swing. Love that trot. Gave me flashbacks to Eddie Furness. It was a lot of fun. Dislikes. We're going to go back and forth on this one. A dislike that I have in the game was the batter's eye. Now, I understand that Ole Miss is expanding this because of something they noticed when they were building the band complex back behind. They had to take down some trees that made some White Houses visible. That's problematic with the batter's eye, so they had to enlarge it. So at the last minute, they had to construct it. I was worried about graphics on it or things like that. Well, as it's done and as it is, they're just getting it completed as quickly as they can. Hopefully by Vanderbilt or by the opening of SEC play, that is completed. But that is the reason for that. But right now, it does look like a bit of an eyesore out there, and honestly, it was a shame for the Ole Miss situation. All right, another like that I have was the Ole Miss pitching. Grayson Saunier, Hunter Elliott came out and really threw the ball really well. I think Delaware had, 6, 7 hits between them. They played really good, and everybody should be excited about those two as the first two in the pitching staff. Everything goes well. It should be interesting to see as the season goes on. Now, last season, like the opening day starter was Derek Diamond, and then you had the kid from A&M Commerce, and guys that would have a role as the season went on, but the starting rotation completely changed midway through the season. And was in large part due to the run that was responsible for the run that they went on. So, take the starters is good if these are entrenched, or if these are going to be the guys. That gives you an opportunity to tinker, with Sunday from time to time, midweeks, seeing what you got in the bullpen to figure out what's happening at closer. I mean, is Jack Doherty at closer a luxury that you're going to be able to handle come the Texas A&M series? So we'll see exactly how that goes. But overall, the pitching was a major like for me. Dislike, I don't like where they put the national championship logo and what it looks like. It's not what it normally looks like. It's honestly a two-tone version of it. If you were going to do that logo, that exact logo, I think it should replace the Ole Miss baseball logo that's behind the home plate, because then it's always on camera. It is an advertising and recruiting point for your school. I think Ole Miss needs to use that better than they are. Just my opinion. You don't have to move it from the outfield. I just think they should put it behind the plate as well, to where as many of these games are on TV and as many people are watching these games, that is a fact that you want to just make known as much as possible. If you put the Ole Miss baseball logo back there with the red and everything on there, there shouldn't be a reason not to put the national championship logo back there. I think anytime Ole Miss wins a national championship, It should be right there and lined up, and it should be on camera, and it should be a major marketing point of this program. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a mistake that can be rectified, though. I would like to see people go down that road and campaign for that a little bit. Likes. I like the way the batting order looked. I mean, you had another multiple home run inning, which was very familiar from last year. In the first game of that Will Furnace, that one he went yard. I like Ethan Groff, Leger, like him. Gonzalez going to be fine. I mean, he's going to be fine. Everybody knows he is. Alderman looks like a little bit of a different player than he was last year, especially defensively in the outfield. Made a big play Friday night. McCants over in right field, that gives you a little bit of flexibility, especially with Groff over in center. See, Chatnier just nails. Calarco, really, really like him at first base. He hit some big RBIs, and he was one that defeated the shift, and he looked like he did it intentionally. So that was pretty good by hitting the ball the other way. Hitting the ball the other way is kind of a lost skill, but if you can do it in the age of this shift, you can be, all of a sudden, instead of a 3 out of 10 hitter, you can be a 4 out of 10 hitter or even higher. It's impressive. But Ole Miss had a relatively good weekend. Like we said, going into the weekend, this weekend was a celebration. This was the end of the celebration of winning the national championship. But now starts Tuesday night. We get to see who the midweek person is. Ole Miss needs to win their Tuesday games, as many of them as possible, but to get ready for that Maryland series. And you can see below, they're ranked 13th right now in D1 baseball. Ole Miss is 4th. The new poll hasn't come out yet. At the time of recording, it could change a little bit, but as of right now, it's that. But Maryland's coming in, good team. They have a shortstop that's very highly rated. They have a catcher that's very highly rated. If you look at it, they're built similarly to Ole Miss. Maryland just missed out on Omaha last year. They were right there. So this will be a big game. This is a series that Ole Miss needs to take from Maryland. 2 out of 3. That should be the goal on this one. Just a simple SEC formula at home. 2 out of 3. And then you have the game on Friday, win that again. Like I'm happy with them putting Hunter Elliott up against anybody. Saunier, yes. I'm interested to see how Xavier Rivas, how he will move up to that level. So we'll see exactly what happens there, but it should be a lot of fun. But anyway, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. You can make sure and check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. It has everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, you get to hear from big-name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Tune in tomorrow as we keep going. We're into a baseball season now as fan interest is going to start going up a little bit. We're going to talk about football on every show because that's exactly what we do. And we'll see what happens in this college basketball search, because that is going to become the story 3 weeks from now. So we're going to talk about that leading up to that as well. So we will see you then.